Welcome back. We got the floor ripped up. We do have a few surprises, as any time you do when you're doing construction. The only given is that there's going to be a lot of changes and you never know what you're going to come up with. So when we pulled the vinyl up, we had some issues with, I believe there's been some water damage down here. Whether it's happened a few times or once, I don't know, but we actually have mold. So we'll actually have to get to cleaning the floor. It smells pretty bad in here. I wish you could smell it, then you'd know what I'm talking about. It has quite a smell. So now we're going to go down and we're going to take the toilet off. And we actually had some problems when we were pulling off the vinyl. The vinyl had been put underneath, which actually is normal and it's the right way to do it. So we're going to have to take the toilet off, which we are anyways, and then we can get the rest of the vinyl off. So if we come down to the toilet here, and you can see the spots on the floor, especially spots like here. I don't know if you can see it that well. Here you have your black and your blues. It's that mold that's coming out. It needs a good bleaching to kill off the mold, but we'll get to that later. So right now, the first thing we have to remember to do is to shut off the water valve. More often than not, you can't do it by hand because it's been it's just corroded itself, and you can't just twist it off. So I'll try that first, and surprisingly enough, oh, I did actually get it. Okay, so sometimes you're able to. If not, use your lock joint pliers, clamp it on, twist. That's the easier way. We were able to get it, so that's good. So the best thing you want to do is turn the water completely off. You want to flush the toilet, get all the water out of the tank, and flushed right down. Because if you leave it in here, one, it's very, very, very heavy, and two, when you're pulling it up, you could create quite a mess. So a couple flushes, it's a good way to guarantee that it's all right. And I think we've got it as good as we can for now. So what we're going to do is we have to take the screws out of the toilet, get the primer underneath, pop the cap off. Now there's a few ways we can get these off. If you have wrenches, those are obviously best. In this case, we can use either a 12mm or a 1/2 inch. And believe it or not, these are almost the exact same size, so it really doesn't matter that much. If you don't have a wrench, just use a pair of pliers, clamp it on, twist it. The downside to pliers is you can mess up the threads, and whether you want to reuse those or not will depending on whether that matters. So in this case, I'm just going to grab the 1/2 inch and undo. For those of you who don't know, these bolts and nuts just hold the toilet down onto the floor. That's all they do. And you never should when you're putting these back on, we'll talk about it later, but never over tighten them. You can crack your toilet, which would result in having to replace the whole thing. There was 2 washers in this case. Some toilets are different, but basically just take out everything you see and get them all off. And it can be quite messy down here, so make sure you don't have your Sunday going to church clothes, because you'll always end up getting dirty. As long as you don't mind that, you'll be okay. So now that we have these out, we also need to take the hose here that's attached. Now whether you take it off here or here is up to you. It's totally up to you. It really doesn't matter. In this case, I think I'm going to take it off here just because we have so much corrosion and rust here. And this can be a challenge as well at times, but actually right now it is a very easy process. Now you will have a bit of water, and if you're worried about your floor, if it's a wood floor, make sure you put some sort of rag or something down. So now we have this off, so it's free from the toilet. Our bolts and nuts are off. So now all we need to do is lift it off, and that can sound easier than it actually is. It's quite awkward. All the weight is on the side, so as you pick it up, you'll feel it tilt. If you have a friend with you, you can get them to help you, and that can be a big help. But you can do it yourself if you're able. But just be careful of your back. Those kind of safety things. Just don't overdo it. So basically, you want to lift it up and over top of the bolts that are down there, because you can't just slide it off or you can do some damage. So you want to pick it up and then bring it out. And you'll hear some water slushing around. That is normal. You can never get it all out. And here's where actually that rag would come in handy. We're on a concrete floor, so it doesn't really matter. But here's what, so there's that piece of vinyl we couldn't get out. It was underneath the tub. And looking at this, it is quite disgusting because there's always a wax ring that goes in it, and when you put the toilet onto it, the wax squeezes out, and that's what allows the seal to happen. There's some other things in here, I don't know what it is. It's not what you think, fortunately, but there are some pretty weird things down here. Probably a good idea to use gloves with a latex or some form to protect your hands. If you're not worried about it, it's not the end of the world, just make sure you wash well.